Maggie tucked herself into the corner Pharaoh had discovered, a little alcove that didn't seem to have any purpose other than to collect random trash that blew in when the wind rushed down the in-ramps. It was on the other side of a staircase and a janitor's closet. The spot was dirty and grimy as sin, and it was all but invisible from anywhere else you stood in the garage. She settled down to wait, crouching and gingerly leaning her back against the wall. This next bit wasn't supposed to take long. Most of the circumstances they'd foreseen involved people chasing Maggie, so in theory, there ought to be someone showing up any minute now. Headlights flashed across the wall adjacent to Maggie, coming toward her. The dark blue Honda Accord they belonged to showed up a moment later and stopped outside her hiding place. It flashed its turn signal twice, then shifted into park, and the door opened. A young man climbed out, all long limbs and long hair, and he barely bent over to pull the trunk release. "Your chauffeur awaits," he said quietly in Maggie's direction. "What's the invisible chicken's name?" She kept to the darkness. The man snorted. "Theodore." Satisfied with the code phrase, Maggie stood and slung her bag back over her shoulder, coming out into the light. "Hiya." "Hey." The man walked her around to the back of the car and opened the trunk wide. "Name's Josh." "Nice to meet you, Josh." He reached out, offering to take her bag. She passed it over, then climbed into the trunk with his help. "Cozy. About as much room as you can get in a sedan back here." Josh settled the bag beside Maggie as comfortably as he could. "You ready?" "As I'll ever be." "You're not weirded out about transporting some random woman in your trunk?" He snickered. "I'm a good friend of Pharaoh's. I know what you do for a living. I don't know why she's asked me to stick you in my trunk, but I'm sure you know that when Pharaoh asks you to do something, you do it," Maggie finished. "Sounds about right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it." "No problem. I'll try to keep the ride as smooth as I can." "Thanks." He nodded, shut the trunk, and climbed into the driver's seat a few moments later. The car dipped. Then the slam of the driver's side door rocked the frame to the right. He put them in gear, and away they went. "This is nuts," Maggie thought to herself. "Why did we decide I needed to ride in a trunk? I don't even technically know where I'm going. Am I being an idiot?" "I mean..." "Shut up, Matt," she huffed. "Except don't, because if you do, I will be bored out of my tree for the next God knows how long." "Well, you get to snooze through Joseph's Landing's morning rush hour." He was amused. "Don't have to contend with anyone's road rage." I wish I knew where I was going. I still don't quite get why Pharaoh didn't tell me.